Hi guys, welcome to another show with Big Al. Today we're going to be doing work not only on my house or my houses. I'm putting up a scaffolding to fix the roof and the chimney breast up there. While I was doing the work, the neighbour had come to me and asked could I fix the chimney on her property, which is here. I wanted to buy that property, but they're intending to move in and they've asked me to do the renovations for them, which is great news because that allows me to fix also my problem with the dampness coming in. So if we go back, come on back over here into the road. So if you have a look above here, the chimney that is rendered to the left of my property, the cream property, has got LED flashing already attached to it. However, this one, the grey building that is in bad state of disrepair as well, this one here has no LED flashing, nor has it got a LED tray, and that is causing liquid to go into the walls and wreck both the walls in my property and her property. So she's asked me to renovate that whole entire building from the top, take down that chimney and pull away the actual brick and rebuild the actual brick after putting a LED flashing in. More or less making it waterproof, the house waterproof and watertight for the future. What I have to do is I have to build scaffolding, and that's what I'm currently doing today. My hands are all mucky. I should be wearing gloves, but here, that's what it is. Got the key to next door property, and I have to do an evaluation for the client. And again, she's probably watching this, so thank you for your custom. The idea really is for us to go ahead and start building the scaffolding. We're not doing much construction work today. We're just going to go ahead and build the scaffolding up. Once we've done the scaffolding, we have to dismantle the roof and we have to make it waterproof while we're getting the LED tray prepped and soldered. And I'll show you how that's done. I will probably have the LED tray done in the studio, and we'll bring it up here and then we'll fit it once it's soldered. We can do it on site, but I think I'd rather do it under lighting so you can see how it is supposed to be done. This property here is now under my care, and I intend to do a great job and show what it's like to be doing that. Remember, this property doesn't belong to me. This is a client's property now that's asked me to do it. This is my property, and then further down, the little cream is also my property. And we're going to be doing these girls up for approximately £650 a month rental. The idea really is now we're just putting the star bars out and we're putting the transoms in, and we're putting the feet in so we can get it balanced and right, and then we're going to go up and put all the scaffolding planks in. I may have to put netting above to stop residue from falling down, but because we have our own property, odds are it won't fall down on top of customers. But I will put a bit of netting on the top row just to make sure nothing slides and leaps onto the street, onto a customer, or better than that, onto a car. See that? I was more interested in the cars than I was into the... But so that debris doesn't hurt anyone. So I'm putting my high vis on, and I'm also going to put my my hard hat on to make sure that it's all safe. Come on with me, guys, and I'll start it. Now, do I use this hat or do I use this one? Well, we may as well keep it yellow. I prefer this one.
I don't know if they made those.
That's my bump cap. I used that when I was working as in a factory. I always loved my bump cap. When I'm an engineer and I had to earn money for myself back years ago, I went and got a job in a factory as an electrical engineer, and that was my little bump cap. Loved it because it was as good as a safety hat, and it's nice and clean, so it's not getting in the way when you're inside a machine while it's turned on. So the first thing I recognize is the same smell that I get from that property next door, and it's a smell of damp. So this house would also be damp. Okay, so this building has the original wall that we're looking to put back in, the original door frame. This is actually more original than our property. It's got two fireplaces. This is gone, and wow, look at this! Wow, 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 wow! Oh dear! Do you see that, guys? So the skylight itself is great. I love that. I love the skylight, but that would need to be repaired and replaced. But you see the big leak that's come in and it's coming through the window. So this all is falling in. This whole thing would have to be replaced up there. I would absolutely say that there is definitely issues with that. I don't think there's a key to get into the back door. There's not. Or maybe there's one here. Yes, there's one there, look. So she's asked me to do some stuff at the back here. Oh yeah, it's just locked. So at the minute, it's a standard ceiling. This is actually caving in. It's not caving in on this side, but on the far side, I've quoted to get that taken away and repaired. So it's not on this side of the wall, it's just the other side of the wall, which is not bad then. So it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Overall, she's looking for all this to be removed, which I agree with. This could be a great open space for the kitchen for our client. Good sized bathroom in here, which would be a great change. That's a great sized bathroom. It's very similar to the property we have. So there's going to be similar changes to here, or similar things here. Now, my concern is, of course, upstairs. That's a solid floor in there, and that's a wooden floor. And if you have a look, this again is the problem. There's damp rising down here, and that's probably caused by, yep, look, there it is. So that needs to be dealt with. I mean, overall, it's actually pretty sound. I mean, you know, there is a bit of modernization to be done. And of course, the usual corbels. There they are there in this property too. It's more, this property to me is more well looked after, to be honest with you. There's a couple of things need sorted on it. There's a bit of a bow in that. Okay, someone was doing work. There's a head in here. So someone was going to put a head in, and then it was just stopped. Someone's put it in, the head's there. And this is my concern here. And there it is. So the water's getting into this property here. And although, so that would be the chimney breast that I'm talking about. But you can see there's the dampness on the wall there. And it's coming in, coming down. This is also affecting my property next door. Water's seeping in from here and then through. So it's coming down here. And I would say that flat roof is the one that's causing the damp and the concerns here. Overall, it's actually not that bad. I think I could do this at quite a competitive price, as long as the customer's not willing to change any furniture, any doors or handles. But yeah, no, that's a great room. This room, with every one of the houses that I've been to, is always the best. It's dry, it's clean, it feels warm. It's one of the best rooms in the house. I've no idea why. Same stairwell, but as I look upon here, there's a bit of tracking has been done, and there's something has happened here, something has changed. I have no idea what that's about, why that head or why that structure sitting out and up and replastered brand new. I assume it fell in. They must have had to rebuild that somehow. But yeah, not a bad wee job. But I mean, there seems to be very little that I can see. I mean, it can be modernized, but it depends on what the client wants to do with all this. We have this, but this is painted white. But I don't know why I like the old style, just, you know, painted mahogany. I don't know why. Brings back old memories, I suppose. Everything's still here. You got the same levels of cornicing as my property. And you could do something here as well with this property here. You could do something, you could have a really good double doors, beautiful double doors here. It's the same level of structure. It's actually a sounder house than my house next door. My house has been was a sham. But yeah, no, it's dry, it feels dry. Smells damp, but that's because of the issues on the corner, upstairs, and in certain areas. Looks very similar, doesn't it, Charlie? Yeah, it's a couple of things that change. If you look, that head height's not right. Yeah. I mean, you know, donk. You know, so that would need to go up in order to sit with regulation size. Why? I don't know. Why do people do what they do? I don't know. You know, construction, remember regulations weren't like that in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Regulations only really started coming in for the safety of others like this. Joan will be very happy to hear that. There's a couple of dry rot on the skirtings. I think there's a couple of skirting needs done, but you know, it's going to be all right. It's actually not a bad job. I think we're going to be okay. This is terrible. This is plastic. PVC, yeah. I mean, that's the problem there. The silicon will start to rot and water gets in. And once water gets in, it'll leak inwards. You know, it has to be sorted and refreshed. Right, okay. So the idea is to build a 3 or 2 bay platform using my land or my property and building the scaffolding up 2 bay wide and 3 high. We may have to go 4 high, which also means ladders, but the problem with the ladders is this: I'm not keeping them here because odds are they'll get nicked. So we're not putting the ladders up. So what we'll do is we will let you be, and we'll give you a final piece once we finish the scaffolding and everything's operational. So thanks a lot. You go out and then come back in when it's all fixed. Go.
A few moments later.
Done it. Sorted. So what we're doing is we're strengthening the item. The idea really is the wall will not suffice with just 1 bay. It'll be too wibbly wobbly. Even though we only need 1 bay to get up there, we're best putting 2 bays wide so that we keep the structure, because these two outrights have to be scaffolded around and make it stable enough. So we have to more or less put 2 insides, and then once we get above the structure, so once we get above that structure, we can then hard pin across and then pin to the wall. The idea really is I have to pull the scaffolding and then mount brackets to the wall to hold it in place and keep it as stable as I possibly can. So once I get past this roof line, new scaffolding will go up, and we'll most likely probably put a ladder system somewhere. I have no idea yet. The idea really is just to strengthen the whole thing up. Once it starts to get strong, we start planking it and then putting the footboards in, and then the protection system. So back in a minute.
More moments later.
One up here. Do you want to give me the camera?
Different view from up here?
Yeah, it's tall. Do you want to see it? Watch. You ready? Watch this. Whoa. 5 minutes later, and I got this job done. Well, near enough. So I'm working on the roof now. What I'm looking to do is put transoms across here from the star bar across onto a plank. Here's the job as we see it up on the roof so far. So that's not screwed in, it's only temporarily screwed in there. But it's to be properly bolted into the timbers. So the transoms, as you can see, this is a transom here, guys, and that's going across to a standard, which is going to have, we're going to put, so if you want to come on back there, Rohim, sign you over there. Let you go over there so you're nice and out of the way. Is that better?
Yep.
Having to be filmed. It was pissing yesterday. So the transom will have more planks across here, and another exact same replica of what we got now. I have to take this down a bit. So this girl here has to cut, we have to take it all down again and put the jack. If you look on the corner there, there's that jack. That is known as a tilting foot, basically. It has a 45-degree foot. A lot of the scaffolders put the straight ones on, but I like these because you can put them on the plank, set the plank down and basically just bolt them to it. It's a great job, great idea, and you can screw it level. Now at the minute it's sitting a bit off level, so this is only temporary. I was just working it through and it's not really worked out right. But this is the reason why we're going up here. If you want to turn up to this girl here, this is the client's chimney. Now, as you can see, there is no actual lead flashing on the chimney base. It's the old brick that was built for the house. And we can probably see that that's my property over here. So I have the lead flashing already done. I also have a lead tray in that property. That's already been done, so that's already been modernized. This is not. That's the old school where they put a bit of cement around the chimney, and it doesn't work, guys. What happens, it starts to break down. Now, what I thought was really, really strange about this property, now this is a client's property, it's not mine. So when they've seen us doing the work next door, they said, look, will you do that for me? I'm saying, yep, I can do it for you, no problem. There's a couple of things I found during this process. Now, we've done a bit of cleaning and I found a few issues. If you have a look at the customer's tile, so this would be the tile to my property here, and this would be the tile to the customer's property next door. And what they've done, someone's tried to fix it, and they've poured tar into the seams of the tiles. And as you can see, it's eroded away, it's gone, it's broken away. So in order for me to fix that, I'm gonna have to take up some of the roof. So the tiles need redone. The way it's been cut, odds are water is also getting in this way. To be honest with you, it's amateur hour. I'm not a roofer. I don't claim to be a roofer, but I know this is not right. If you have a look, this one here, look. So this tile is sitting down, okay? Which means that this tile is not being protected by this tile. So all they've done is they filled it with tar, stuck this one down. You can never get that up without tearing it and ripping it. And as you can see, moss gets in, it's eroded away at the tar, and water's getting back in again. Now, what way can I fix it? Other than me going and telling the customer, and this is where I stumble as a contractor. The customer would say, how much is it going to cost? I'm going to have to tear that entire place out. I'm going to have to replace the tiles from the top and square down at a 45. So I'm going to have to take that all away to fix this, just fix it down to here. What's it going to cost? It's going to be a few thousand, minimum, a few thousand. And, you know, the cost that they're doing at the minute. So do I go ahead and just simply repair the tar and just put more tar back into the lines? I'll talk to a guy who I know who is a roofer and I'll ask him the question. He's a good man, he knows his stuff, so I'll probably ask him. But if you look at the chimney, the chimney was repaired before. Why on earth would they make so much effort to go up there and put, do you see they put this brick above the brown brick on top of the red yellow brick? But look what they've done. The side has been falling out and they've just basically mortared it actually beggars belief that they've half-assed it. You know, this is the problem with me as a contractor. I tend to not want to do it half-assed. And I suppose it's the people that I've journeyed with in the time where they're going, no, Alan, tear it out, do it all. And I'm going, oh, but it's going to cost me a fortune. I get now why people do it, why the contractors would do it, but I'm really worried about the client's cost as well. Now, I want to make sure that their house is waterproof and waterproof for a period of time. So I need to take counsel on this from the roofer about what I will have to do. And I will do another video in the coming weeks, possibly month, about what I've decided to do based on the advice I get from either you who are watching this are probably a good roofer, you know your roofing skills. I'm not saying I'm a good roofer. I can roof, but not like you guys. You guys are pros. And if you've got the advice you've got for me, rather than rip it all out and take it away, think about the customer's cost. Customer's investing so much into this. And if the customer gets 20 years waterproofing out of this, then I'd be happy with that. So anyway, what has caused these problems? What has caused, and I'll show you as we go downstairs. So that we're on top of the scaffolding, but there's a bit more scaffolding to do. I'm going to get right to the top of that and surround the scaffolding around that. There's going to be another day's work in it. It's not been 5 minutes later as we're getting Roem to do, like 5 minutes later. 5 minutes later. You would do that as a one, you know? Anyway, what have I done with the scaffolding? I've secured it. Again, I'm not going to call myself a pro scaffolder, but I'm not going to invest in a scaffold that I will never have the ownership of. I'm the sort of guy that likes that if a customer says to me, can you do the scaffolding? I say, right, I've got the scaffolding, I can do the scaffolding. So I go ahead and buy what I need, and I use that again and again and again. And it's a great entrepreneur's idea is to own your assets rather than go and get people. And you'll never make money by constantly renting out scaffolding. So why not do it yourself and charge that to the customer? I can then do it cheaper. I can do it cheaper for a lot more people. And that then gets me more business. So I've done safety netting. As you can see, there's a debris netting here. I'm still going to put another rail up here. I'm going to put another rail up there, and that's just a handrail, a protection rail. These transoms and this star bar and that there is simply for to be put up here on the roof. This is all the roof stuff. I have to go now and get more cut transoms, or not transoms, more cut standards, which are these star bars, I call them. They're called standards, so you can get them in different things. But in my other job, I've got another job in Newry, which is a load of scaffolding, and I've got loads of wee cuts that I've used over the time that I've cut them up to suit the property that I've done. I can use them for these short bars over here because they only have to go up a certain height, and then we can link them in for handrails above. But ultimately, that's the way we're going to go. So the idea is really to step this girl up now, up the stair, and make a stairwell, a big scaffold stairwell all the way up the front, or up the roof. Now, so there's still another day's work, and it has to be dry. Yesterday, it started to pee out of the heavens, and due to this, we had to stop work because I couldn't work up here and slide around on a roof. So it's just not going to happen. Now, what has caused all of this to happen? Why has this house degraded? It's a simple thing. The customer has allowed a plant to come into the gully here, and the gully had this weed growing in. There's it there. It's all over the place, and this grew throughout the building, including went underneath and inside the building into the loft, and then grew underneath. And what I'll do is, if you want, Roeem, if you come on down and go under here, look. So if you can see, the rooting has pushed the actual, it's more over there, more heavier over there. Look, see there in the corner? So as you see, it's pushed the actual gully up, which is not getting rid of the water. Now look at the way the water is. The water's sitting here, but the water is actually going into the property. So it's piling up here rather than, and so we've got to get that gully back down. Now, the only way I can do that after I've done it is through heating the plastic again, heating the plastic and bending it back. Over the years, it's probably been bent up. So I need to put a bit of a warm blowtorch on her and just slowly mold that plastic back down so it's nice and level so water can get in. Either that or I take it off and replace it. Odds are that moulding is probably gone, so I'm not going to do that. All I want to do is just melt that down so that this girl is nice and level again and sitting at the same height as my one. As you can see, my gully, although it's just as bad in certain places, that's ours. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to demoss this roof, and I'm going to demoss my roof while I'm at it, while I'm up there. I'm going to make sure the integrity of all the tiles of both the client and myself is done. Clean that whole roof down and get it all beautiful. Now, if you look up on the ridge tiles, see them ridge tiles there? Yep. So the ridge tiles themselves have not been cemented in. As you can see, there's no cement holding them. So while I'm up there, and this is something that I haven't priced for the customer, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's really not that much more expensive. I've got up there. It's probably going to be an hour's work for the lad to go and just basically mortar around all them joints, keep it nice and secure. I'd say what's happened is if you have a look at my ridge tiles to the left, and there's two different ridge tiles on the beside the chimney that's been refurbished, odds are whoever fixed the chimney up here had actually done the ridge tile and repaired the ridge tile there, but also badly mortared it in. Am I going to put the aerials up? No, I'm going to take them down. We got digital now, and odds are we don't need any of this nonsense. You know, the way it is, nobody really is going for terrestrial television anymore. So I'm going to go down, and then I'm going to take the camera off you, Roeem. Oh, by the way, look at our wee Look at our wee pulley wheel. That's for putting the bucket up and down. That's a wee pulley wheel. When you're coming down, hold on to both bars, Ryan, okay? Give me that thing, and I'm going to look at you as you're... We'll see your backside. Let's just see, make sure I get this right. There we go, Roy. No, I'm not showing the backside thing. It's embarrassing enough as it is, I know. Yeah? Now revenge is sweet. Roy, look at that bum. Yes, I know, guys. The viewers will go up now because of his rear end. The camera ends, you know, this is what production people have to do. Get up scaffolding, look. So the weed has more or less taken over the bottom of the cement. I have to take that all out. That all has to be chemically treated. I need every weed and every tiny little thing they've found their ways in all sorts of crevices. It's managed to get behind the mortar, behind the paint, and I've scraped it all back, but we have to really, it's everywhere. It's in here. It's actually in behind the paint and in the mortar. So that all has to be chemically treated for me to do it. It's everywhere. Look. It's in there as well, look. If you ever look at the roots, it just somehow has got into the actual foundation and the waterproofing of the building. So all this has to be scraped back, including this silicone, because the silicone's been pushed away by someone siliconed it. And I mean, it's okay to silicone it, but the mastic's gone because the weed got in behind. Look, everywhere, the weed's got in behind it. And it's more or less made a new life. And every time I pull this out, there's more of it, more weed. It's just a funny looking plant. So there it is. So the customers asked me to, now the customer did initially ask me to do the chimney, but has now commissioned me to do the exterior, paint it, treat it, get rid of every single inline crack. Look at the state of that, look at that for a shite repair. Who the hell? I mean, what does a person expect? What that does, we need to chase that out, about this much of a chase, in depth, and render it nice and tight. So the rendering has to be done. But look at that, that's polyfiller. That's not even external. Look, this is what you do with polyfiller, guys. Look, come see. If you ever want to fill a crack, use the proper sand and cement. Watch, that's polyfiller. It just erodes. It's a chalk. It's for inside, not outside. Isn't that right, William? Donk. Here's more of this weed. If you come and have a look here, yep. So that weed has actually gone in behind the customers. That weed has gone in behind the customers. So the customer got plastic put onto the sill, and the whole weed is behind it. If you have a look here, I can't pull that out because of scaffolding, but it's in everywhere. I mean, it's embedded itself into every single crevice. What's that? There's too much. It's got everywhere. Look. There's roots. If you have a look, there's roots all over it. Look. It's got everywhere. And for some reason, this little plant enjoys eroding a house. If you have a look, we've even got a fish tank. You want to see the fish tank? Yes. Come and see the fish tank. Inside this is actually...
How does that happen?
No? How cool is that? I've never seen a fish tank inside a piece of glass, look. As you can see, what has caused that? So what's happened is the window, the glass, has somehow the silicone around it has broken, and a wee bit of water's got in, and it's built up over time. So basically, it means that the glass needs replaced. So we have to clip off this outer clip and replace the glass. It's the same with that. This also is broken, as you can see, look, but there's a vapor, so this glass needs replaced too. It's a silicone breaking down. Silicone's not really designed to last. It's a latex type silicone. There's there's chemicals and that sort, and chemicals do break down. Eventually they age, but I don't think a lot of the window manufacturers realize how quick they age, and that's what happens. When steam starts coming in, it means that water's gone into the glass in between the two panels, the double glazing, and it basically will condensate. And all you have to do is this, call the glass guy, he'll come out and fit you a brand new glass, 75, 100 quid. That's all it is. 2 of them windows are about £200. Maybe less, depends on the people you use in the glass manufacturer. So come and have a look at this weed again. So this is siding onto my property now. This is my property. And I've got what they call a stone render. This is a stone concrete render. And then it was painted. It was actually quite fashionable to render it that way back years ago. To be honest with you, I hate it. If you have a look, again, my weed seems to be growing just nice little things. But if you pull that off and clip in behind it, there is, watch.
Keeps going.
Yeah, oh no, it's all over it's all over the entire, so it's eating away at the grip. So it's measured itself between the plaster. But if I keep pulling that off, all the weed has grown behind the entire. The sad thing was that didn't start here. That started on the customer's side, and it grew, and it started growing down and then digging in and making itself at home behind the cables. This is the cable. This is the distribution cable for the electricity of my house. This also used to be. This used to be the BT, but I got rid of it. The BT used to be here, so I just disconnected it and pulled it back to its own. But what they've done, what the weed has done, look, if I do here as well, watch. It is eating away. How do I get rid of this stuff? It is quite simple. We have to power wash it. Power wash it will get all that paint off. Right back to its it's like a concrete plaster. Personally speaking, it's awful looking. I have no idea why people did that. There's it there. That's a concrete plaster. So there it is. That is our scaffolding up. We are now up to the roof, and we are now going to deliver to any roofers. Got any advice on above what we talked about? Please give me a shout. And guys, I'm going to ask you again. Please like and subscribe. I really need subscribers. This channel is growing and I need your support. I need your comments. I need your advice. And I also need your patronage. Thank you. Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Self videos, eh?
I'm in the background climbing the ladder.
I know, it's broken already. I think I've broken a couple of times.